Coming up, we have a very empowering education workshop on education technology by Dr. Shekhar Jain, the founder and CEO of OMOTEC. A huge round of applause to Dr. Shekhar Jain.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here, and thank you for having us here. I think it's a wonderful morning to start off, and while we see energy levels at various levels, right? What I'm going to do in this specific presentation that I'm going to be doing now is really kind of just giving you a little bit of insight of how the world of tomorrow is going to be. We talk a lot about technology and its adaptation in schools and the reason why we are doing it and stuff like that. But a lot of times we miss the big picture in terms of what's needed, why is it needed, and what's the real purpose behind it, right? Are we doing it because it's a fashion, it's something new, or is it something that is really required, and is it really required for our K-12 students, right? So I think I'm going to spend a little bit of time just kind of provoking a little bit of thoughts at your end, and then seeing if there's any response around it. Right, can I have my presentation, please? All right, great. Just a couple of questions before we start the presentation. One is, how many of you actually used, let's say, Google Maps today to reach this hotel? Okay, great. Second question, when was the last time that you actually visited a bank to probably ensure that your checks got deposited, or probably your checks got cleared, or uncle, aunt, friend? We would look at all of it and we would remember those numbers. How many of us actually remember our own numbers today? Kuncham, little. Right, sometimes you have to refer back. We've got two numbers, we don't know which is the other number, which is the first one, right? It does happen, right? So what is really happening is we're depending on technology, actually, right? There's no need to remember the number, right? Why do we really need to remember our own number? So that's why we're saying now is that change is the only constant. So this is a 3D printing technology which is now becoming a reality all over the world. The construction business has actually changed significantly with a lot of the 3D printing now coming in. The first post office 3D printed in India has been in Bangalore. So I'm sure you should look it up and actually see that. So the first 3D printed structure design in India is a post office in Bangalore itself. So a round of applause to all Bangaloreans over here. You should be very, very proud about that because this has gone into the history books itself. So what does this really say? Is that you don't have anymore any of the masons, you don't have kilns, bulldozers. A lot of those things are actually now becoming a little bit old. You have more new aged 3D printing technology. You're talking about filaments, you're talking about new ways of printing it. So this is where you actually see the drone technology, right? The drone technology has been used extensively in the war zones of Russia and Ukraine. Most of the war has actually been fought just on the basis of the drone technology with very less human physical intervention of soldiers going in, attacking, dying, and so on and so forth, right? So remote operations, accuracy, a greater benefit in terms of using remote operations is now starting to become the key. This is a very prime video of a driverless car, right? This is the Tesla car. If you look at the logo on the steering wheel, this is the Tesla autonomous driving car, which actually tells you that now this is a reality now, which actually says that a lot of times you use cars which can actually park assist on their own itself. How many of us have problems in parking? Come on, raise your hands. Most of us have a problem in parking, right? And when we have parking problems, when it's a very tight spot itself, right? And most of the time we struggle with it, and that's the most dreadful piece of driving, right? In any city whatsoever, right? So now the cars that are coming in, even at a 10 lakh price, even at a 15 lakh price, they're actually coming in where they're actually providing this feature of park assist. What does the park assist mean? Basically, there are sensors around the car itself. It actually detects, clicks an image of the car, of the space itself, adjusts the car in such a way, and you're sitting in the car with your hands off the steering wheel, and it goes and actually parks the car. That's park assist, right? Imagine completely happening autonomous itself, right? So that is how you actually see a lot of range of new things getting added onto the car to make it more
इसके थ्रू हर
intelligent.
साल तकरीबन 30,000 चाइल्ड बर्थ पॉसिबल हो सकती हैं। यहाँ तक के पेरेंट्स आर्टिफिशियल वॉर्म में ट्रांसफ़र करने से पहले अपने बेबीज़ की खसूसियात भी अपनी मर्ज़ी के मुताबिक कम, ज़्यादा या तब्दील करवा सकते हैं, जैसा कि हाइट, स्ट्रेंथ, इंटेलिजेंस, हेयर्स, स्किन टोन और आई कलर के अलावा जेनेटिक डिसऑर्डर से भी बचा जा सकता है।
So very controversial, right? And it can be actually, but it's starting to become a reality. DNA mutations, biotech technology, medtech technology is actually starting to pick up a big way. You can actually now start defining how your color of the baby, of the hair, eyes, and skin color, and so on and so forth can actually get determined, right? And this is the technology that is actually coming in. So what do I really mean by this, right? I want to actually show a quick video, and then I want to see a show of hands. How many people actually want this kind of a house?
The house in 10 years can be surrounded by watching the sun. The roof is solar. You'll never have to pay an electricity bill again. Also, the roof folds down. It can be made transparent at the touch of a button. You can sunbathe in the room. True ventilation and light. The glass has its own wiper. Can be cleaned automatically. The window can be extended to become a balcony. Relaxation and light at the same time. Automatic wardrobe collection on the balcony. Clothes can be collected automatically when it rains. Exterior walls can be slid open. Open during the day for ventilation. Closed at night for insulation. Automatic cleaning with wall climbing robots on the outside. Every day is a new house. The walls can be switched to a vegetable garden at the touch of a button. Clean the air and grow vegetables to eat. Folding basketball hoops can be installed on the outside walls. Able to play sports without compromising on aesthetics. The garage floor is equipped with wireless charging. Also equipped with an automatic car wash. You can leave the house clean and dry every day. The canopy opens automatically when it rains, keeps out the elements, and keeps the yard dry. There is also a watering system in the yard. Fully automatic watering of plants and vegetables. Electricity in the courtyard. Electricity is provided by a wind turbine on the wall. The house can also be moved. When you want to go on a trip, the car is ready to go as soon as it is hooked up. When you arrive at the tourist destination, the transformation begins at the touch of a button. In 10 minutes, a fully equipped villa is automatically set up. An alarm system is set up in the grounds. Automatic warning of a burglar break-in. When you return home from a trip, the intelligence system automatically turns on the lights, adjusts the room temperature. Coffee will be ready when you get home. Wouldn't you like to own such a perfect home?
How many of you would like to own such a perfect home? I'm sure most of us, right? You don't want to see, you really don't want to see, have the dependence on servants, drivers, people working for you, and so on and so forth, right? This is where the future is actually going. How many of you think that it's going to be a reality in the next 2 years, these houses? A few of us. How many in the next 4 years? Many of us, right? In Amazon today, in US Amazon, you know the Amazon site, website? You can actually go and buy a house like this for $19,000. Last May, the first house was actually delivered in Texas for $19,000, exactly on the same model itself. So it's become a reality. You know Elon Musk? How many of you know Elon Musk? Right? Elon Musk owns a house which is exactly like this. It's only for about $23,000 itself. He doesn't have a mansion, he doesn't have anything. He stays in this kind of a house. So this is where technology is really taking us. And therefore, everything that we see is progressive technology, where all the subjects that we talk about, whether we talk about science, math, engineering, architecture, law, commerce, everything has got now a technology base to it. And we're actually seeing a lot of careers actually start changing from a technology perspective across all countries, whether developed, whether underdeveloping, whether developing right now, right? They're all kind of changing their careers, which are becoming a more holistic in their perspective. It is about how do you add technology to all your subjects and make it a little bit more future-oriented itself. And therefore, we'll still know a compounder, right? But the generation down the line, will they ever know a compounder? They will never know a compounder, right? So these jobs are quickly going away. Even a job like a doctor, it's becoming a little bit more robotics oriented, right? So doctors are really not trying to now treat you. They're really trying to find the problem where the solution is now more technology oriented itself, right? If you look at in banking, just now we spoke about banks, tellers, a lot of these functions have now moved on to ATMs itself, right? So even the physical presence of a bank is no longer actually required because you're able to do everything online itself, right? Entertainment perspective, right? Everything, what's there? What's the thing that you have in your hand? Mobile phone, right? Everything is there on the mobile phone itself only. You don't need to actually go open up a TV and hear the news, see what's happening, or look up a movie or anything of that sort. So all your entertainment is also moved on to that. Security. Each of you are principals of your esteemed schools, right? And you've got these huge CCTV cameras in your rooms where you're actually trying to look at and see what's happening in your entire premises, right? That's going to be automated like anything. What you see right now is not alerts coming on those. You only see pictures, right? But AI is going to start transforming it where you'll actually see anything going wrong is going to start getting alerted in red or whatever color that you choose, which actually tells you this is the place where you need to focus, right? A few, right? So most of you who don't have, or those who have, really need to look at it and say which level of STEM lab I am at. Having a STEM lab does not mean I've got everything robotics and coding. It's about questioning and trying to say, okay, how do I actually have a proper STEM lab? Have I got everything that is required? Am I actually at a STEM lab level 4 itself, where I've got prototyping capabilities, I've got skilling capabilities, I can do AR, VR, I can do mechanical building. I can actually build small robots and actually put it out there. I can commercialize. That's where your STEM Lab 4 actually sits. Most of us are between STEM Lab 1 and STEM Lab 2. And we are not even looking at it in terms of saying how do we actually grow it, right? So this is where OMOTEC comes in, and we actually work with schools where about 120 schools is what we actually work with about 40,000 students itself. We take students into multiple different competitions in India, across India itself. We work with schools to actually have students write up research papers, typically grade 8 to grade 12, working on their patents, getting them the patents that is there and helping them to commercialize. We talk a lot about entrepreneurship in school, right? That's a new thing, financial literacy, right? This is one of those things that helps them to kind of build all of that, because that's how they're able to then provide and learn entrepreneurship in the true way. This is where we provide about 5 different subjects across design thinking, electronics, mechanical, coding. We're doing more than about 15 different languages, and robotics. With about 150 schools in the pocket and about 40,000 students that we teach on a monthly basis, right? We basically are present across almost about 18 different cities. We have our own innovation labs where we actually teach students high-end prototyping. They prepare high-end bots, and there is enough that's actually available on the website for you to actually look at. We provide textbooks, books, we provide various different LMS for students and school students to actually log in and actually work. This is how we actually sit and design STEM labs. This is absolutely free of cost for any school, where we look at the space that you have, sit and provide the entire STEM lab, design it, work with your architect closely on that, or with your building supply material people to help develop this entire STEM lab. Different kind of designs, different kind of structures with different economic values we provide, along with equipment, materials, trainers, most importantly. How many of you think that we don't have sufficient trainers for STEM labs? More than enough. Every school that I go to visit, the issue is trainer quality itself on the STEM lab itself. So this is how we actually provide textbooks, books, and therefore we all say, the year is actually how do we go technical over the next couple of years, right? It is about getting into the detail. It is having our students actually learn things technically, right? It's just not an eye wash. There was a principal up here in the earlier panel meeting who actually said, I want my teachers to get trained. And we absolutely concur with that. Your teachers need to be upskilled. If they are not upskilled, they will not be able to run these kind of things. We will not have enough trainers to train our children around these required skill sets. So we are at stall number 31 and 32. Please do come by, drop by, see what we have. We've got a lot of material that we can actually show you. And those who are interested, we are more than happy to work with you. Thank you all. And thank you for having the patience to hear me. Thank you.